Manchester United, after years of speculation, have finally appointed its very first director of football, a technical director, and a football director for negotiations. So, what do these appointments mean? And what should we expect as fans to see now that these appointments have been made? If you want to know more, continue watching and make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. On 10th of March, the footballing world woke up to a surprise when United officially announced that John Murtough, who has been with United since 2013, has been appointed the director of football. Our very own Darren Fletcher has been appointed the technical director, and Matt Judge has been appointed as director of football negotiations, reporting to John Murtough. And this is what the club statement reads out. Here is a snippet of how the club hierarchy might look like. Murtough and Ole both on equal footing, in direct contact with each other, reporting to Ed Woodward, who stays on as the executive vice chairman. Darren Fletcher, while reporting to John Murtough, will be working in close proximity with Nicky Butt, who is the head of the first team development. Nicky Butt, at this point, is reporting to Ole. That means, in an ideal scenario, there will be cohesion, common approach in how the first and youth team plays. That is, similar formations, style of press, development of players in specific areas, so the natural step for them would be to eventually be available for first team selection. Another good thing to see is Simon Wells, who is Ole's personal scout, will be connected to Steve Brown, who heads recruitment operations. Based on some stories or theories, the structure was also proposed during Jose Mourinho's tenure, but this was swiftly shot down by the former manager as he needed more control and little interference in transfer recommendations. Knowing Jose's personality, this might be true to some extent. Let's check out what do these appointments mean for the club. Firstly, I feel with the director of football working in tandem with Ole will hopefully mean fewer footballing decisions are made by Ed Woodward, and he can focus more on the business and commercial side of the club in the long run. I'm sure if this happens, a lot of fans are going to be happy. Also, there might be a more structured approach to football transfers, and we might end up identifying areas that we lack in. It may be areas like sports science, player analytics, recruitment, which in turn would push the club to invest in those areas in order to get closer and bridge the gap between us and the elite clubs in Europe. Now that these positions are made public, I hope to see more accountability when it comes to delivering football results. And lastly, with these appointments, I would expect to see the impetus for youth squads to develop and play in a very similar manner to the first team. As fans, we were hoping that a big name like Bertra at Atletico, Van der Sar, or Monchi would take up this role. Now that this appointment has been made, let's take a look at the experience Murtough brings to the table. Firstly, he brings 2 decades of experience of working in the Premier League. He worked at Everton Football Club as a head of performance until 2012. He was then hired by Premier League as the head of elite performance. When Moyes took over as United's manager, he pushed for bringing Murtough on board and to be the head of football development during his tenure. During his time with United, Murtough has been instrumental for laying emphasis on sports analytics and its usage to identify areas for improvement. This can be seen in the recent hiring of data specialist experts for the club, which potentially led to the club signing Bruno, Wan Bissaka, Dan James, Maguire, and many more. As for Darren Fletcher, the biggest plus he has on his side is that he's a Red through and through. He knows a lot about what Manchester United stand for. He knows United should be challenging for titles. He also has solid experience of working with Nicky Butt and Ole. This relationship hopefully helps in address gaps related to the first team and youth development and scouting. In all practicality, he does lack experience in management. So it will be interesting to see how he picks up things and adds value. I would like to think that his love for United should drive him to do bigger and better things for the club. The last person, and probably the least liked person on this list by fans, would be Matt Judge. But when researched, he has a solid background which complements the responsibilities he has been assigned. His educational experience is in the areas of finance and economics. His LinkedIn bio says he manages United's equity and capital structure. In a way, when it comes to making funds available for the transfer market, he plays a key role. We also might take solace knowing the fact that he has been negotiating transfer deals for the club since 2016, and during that time, United have signed the likes of Pogba, Lukaku, Bruno Maguire, and many more players. We do understand that he is going to be Glazer's puppet, but I don't think he has done a poor job till date. When we consider the big picture, these assignments should help ensure Woodward is less involved in transfer dealings and is more involved in overall functionality of the club. Footballing decisions would lie with people with knowledge about the game and possibly ensure it opens up options for the club when it comes to developing players or even signing new ones. Let me know what do you make of these assignments and do you also feel as positive as I do? Share your comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks and see you soon.